Hello and welcome back to part 6 of the Delaware Tech Physics 111 Exam 1 Preparation and Practice Exam covering motion, also called kinematics. In this section, we're going to talk about some metric conversions. That is, converting one metric unit into another. And I'm going to limit it to metric units of length, things like meters, centimeters, kilometers, etc. Okay, so question 8 says, convert the following metric values to other metric values. And part A says, how many meters are in 0.0052 centimeters? And centimeters is spelled out. Well, if you go to your formula sheet, you will see on the last page there's a table of metric system prefixes. And one of the things you find out is that the prefix centi literally means 1/100th, as in cent, as in 100 cents in a dollar. There are 100 centimeters in a meter. And if you assume that this prefix is equivalent to this number, you could take something like 0.0052 centimeters, and I'm going to separate the C and the M to remind you C is this abbreviation, centi. And all we're going to do is replace the C, which is centi, with the number. So we now have that this is equal to 0.0052 centi, which is 1/100th, meters. Well, that means we just multiply these two numbers together to get how many meters we have. 0, 0, and this is two more decimal places, 0.0052 meters. And if you're not comfortable doing that and moving decimal places, just use your calculator. So the answer is 0.000052 meters. Question B says how many kilometers, you can think of it as kilometers, but we usually pronounce it kilometers, are in 7.4 meters. Well, the prefix kilo literally means 1,000. So if we have a certain number of kilometers, we want to know how much 7.4 meters is. We can say 7.4 meters equals X number of kilometers. We don't know how many kilometers. We'll just say it's X for now. But we can replace the letter K, which is the same as kilo, with the number 1,000. So now we have a new equation, 7.4 meters equals 1,000 times X, or I could have written X times 1,000. That would have been more direct from what I've written. I switched position, but it doesn't matter. You're multiplying times meter. Well, now it's just a matter of solving for X. You'll notice meters on both sides. We can just cancel the meters. And X is going to be equal to 7.4 divided by 1,000. In other words, I'm dividing both sides of this equation by 1,000 to get the value for X. So X would be equal to 0.0074. And since we were asking how many kilometers, it's X number of kilometers, so that means the answer is this many kilometers. Now, does this make sense? Well, we have a certain number of meters. Kilometers are 1,000 times bigger than meters, so our number of kilometers should be 1,000 times smaller. So that works out. Now the last problem says how many meters in 0.00065 kilometers. So in the previous problem, we were going from meters to kilometers. Now we're going from kilometers to meters. Well, we still keep in mind the same equivalency of kilo equals 1,000, and we have 0.00 0.065 kilometers. Well, we just replace the K with the number 1,000, keeping everything else the same. So 0.00065. K is replaced with the number 1,000, and then meters. Well, we just multiply this out, and we get 0.65 meters. Now, does that make sense? Well, yeah, we would expect, since the original number was a number of kilometers, and a kilometer is 1,000 times bigger than a meter, the number of meters will be much more. It'll be 1,000 times that value. So just by multiplying the original number by 1,000, we get this number. So there are multiple ways to do these conversions. I've done 2 different methods. There are other methods to convert. All right, and we'll stop here.